Of course, they're not going to send my stuff out now. Of course, there's going to be more issues now. I'm not coming on the camera, you guys. We are talking on a screen, and that's it. I mean, I was going to turn the screen off and just talk to everybody. Can y'all hear me now? Can everybody hear me? Am I clear? Is there static? Am I going in and out? Oh my God. The crazy thing is, I have the microphone on and I don't think that's static. I think y'all are hearing the air conditioner in the background. But I'm going to check for myself. Hold on before I get started because I'm really getting fed up. I really am. And I'm about to just really like have a moment. Oh, am I on that phone? No, I'm not on that phone. Okay, so you guys are still hearing the static. Okay, so you guys are still hearing the static. Okay, so you guys are still hearing the static. Okay, so you guys are still hearing the static. Okay, you guys are still hearing. Okay, so Dre, you don't hear nothing? It's like a quick little pop. All right, so from this point, if you hear an echo, if you're hearing static, if you're hearing any of that, then maybe go out and come back in. Just now it was echoing because I was playing the live to see if I could hear the static. But anyway, all right, you guys. So today is day 31, comes to a close. Tomorrow will be day 32. We will get to hear the defense. Hey, Uda, we'll get to hear the defense's side of things. And I'm waiting to hear what Mark Agnifilo has for us. Today, the AUSA Slavic, as we know, we've gone over this. I've read the live tweets. I've given y'all the afterthought. I got on here and I popped my ish just a little bit or whatever. Um, it's not that bad. Okay. Maybe it's the microphone. I don't know. But I just want to get this out and then I want to lay down and go to bed because I've got to be at court tomorrow, front and center, because I want to hear the defense. Now, what I came on here to say is I'm watching a lot of mainstream media news outlets out here. And what I came on here to say to you guys is if you've been following the case with me from day one, then you know that I've been breaking this down and showing y'all how the government is stacking the case. Because a lot of us were confused. We couldn't see it. We didn't understand. We were trying to understand the one man Rico. We were trying to understand how they were charging these charges. I gave you guys that. I gave you guys the breakdown of Dr. Dawn Hughes. I explained to y'all about psychological things and aspects of, you know, what makes people coerced and what makes, and I'm giving you guys this information. And now I'm seeing mainstream media is just now catching up. So I came on here to say to all of you that have been here from day one, and people have been sending me stuff in my text messages like, hey girl, remember you said this? Well, now they're saying it over here on this news outlet. Oh, this person said it over here. I have been breaking this case down a lot. And you guys that have been here, that have been listening, you guys are ahead of the game right now Because as where people are saying they're just now starting to understand and see some of this stuff that I've been talking about, you guys have already been here for it. So salute to you guys. Why am I so anxious to see what the defense has to say? Because in my opinion, the only way we got to see the defense was through the cross-examination. And I told you guys, the defense team is not to be slept on. They're very good. They're hella good. You know you ahead of the game. Hey, thank you, Uda. Uda, you gotta look at your chat more, babe, because I be talking to you. But you be on go for real. But what I want you guys to understand is this. Regardless to how this outcome goes, the people that are going to be affected the most are Quincy, our King, Justin, Chance, the twins, Janice, everyone, Charlucci, everyone that's been coming to court to support him. They're the ones that are really going to be bearing the brunt if he's found guilty. If he's found innocent, they're going to be happy. And I love how passionate a lot of people have been about this case, because like I said to y'all earlier, we've had Young Thug, the first rapper to catch a RICO. We've had R. Kelly, the first R&B artist to catch a RICO. Now you have Diddy, the first music mogul to catch a RICO. And like I told y'all, then you have Big U, which is the first internet RICO. And what I want you guys to not forget is that while we're all caught up in innocent or guilt, what I just named to you guys are 4 Black men facing RICOs. I read to y'all earlier from the Harvey Weinstein case. And we heard a lot about the Harvey Weinstein victims. Those victims were still in communications with Weinstein. We're still setting up appointments and going here and there. They were still in communication with Weinstein even after he allegedly raped them. Even after he allegedly sexually assaulted them. A lot of the same stuff that we're hearing in this Diddy case is what was going on in the Weinstein case. But you know the difference? Weinstein did not get as much media coverage, not even from mainstream media. You know what else? You know what else? No one was bashing his victims. And if they were, not on the magnitude that it's happened in this case. You know what people did? People listened to this case. They had conversations about the case. Because the point is the case. I really don't want them to release those Diddy tapes. Miss Henny, he hardly ever looks at the chat. I know. I be trying to tell Uda his sound be out. He don't be listening. And what I'm going to do for y'all over the weekend is we're going to get into the Weinstein case. I told y'all earlier, I'm going to walk y'all around the corner. And I'm going to show y'all the distance where Weinstein's case was from Diddy's case. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted to kind of like give myself flowers and give y'all flowers too. So y'all throw flowers in the chat for yourselves. Because everything that people are saying they see now is stuff that we've been talking about. So salute to all of y'all that have sat here and taken in the information. Salute to all of y'all who asked questions. I still am not taking a side. I'm just explaining the case to you guys. Now, tomorrow, when Mark Agnifilo takes the stand, I will give y'all my breakdown. Yeah, you too. Um, I will give y'all. I'm just getting in the bar. It's okay, Swagger. Um, I will give y'all the breakdown of Mark Agnifilo, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, they're probably going to summarize everything that they've told us, just like the prosecution did. If you were really expecting anything different, you're not getting anything different. They can't submit. This is the final. This is the final showdown. There's no more evidence to submit. There's no more witnesses coming to the stand. There's no more any of that. Now it's time to cook. AUSA Slavic, she cooked today. Now I want to see what Mark Agnifilo is going to put on the stove. I want to hear the defense, because while she mapped everything out and she put everything into a timeline and, you know, put the puzzle pieces together that were scattered all over the place for everybody, AUSA Slavic, that's what I'm talking about, to show you what their case was about. I'm waiting to see how Agnifilo is going to present in court tomorrow. I'm anxious for that. I know that we can expect to hear them talk about, you know, this is about his relationships. And guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. If I'm gonna keep it all the way raw with y'all and give y'all my 100% raw thought right now. Everything that both sides is saying when it comes down to, these were his girlfriends. This was his relationship. These were his bedroom. This was his bedroom. We went into his bedroom. The defense is correct on those points. However, there's no getting around the things that were going on in that bedroom. There's no getting around some of the ways that those things ended up happening in his bedroom. So to me, I see both sides of the spectrum. But you know what this is about? It's not really about in court, not just with this case. It's not all about what you can prove. It's about who puts on the best performance. And that's in every case. Who outperformed who? Who was ever able to sell the story? You're right. You're absolutely right. You can say yes 100 times, but when you say no that one time, no means no. Mr. Turtle Duck? No, they did not. Where did you get that from, babe? They absolutely did not. They dropped elements. They dropped elements of the case. They did not. How you going to tell me and I'm in the courtroom? How you going to tell me and I've been keeping up with this case very closely? What they dropped were elements to the kidnapping charge. What they dropped were elements to the arson. What they dropped were elements to the SEX trafficking. If you listen to the closing arguments today, they very much spoke about kidnapping and named it as one of the predicates. They very much talked about arson and named it as a predicate, and the SEX trafficking and named it as a predicate. What it is, Turtle Duck, is people saw that the attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, attempted aiding and abetting, instructions, those are charges to the jury, which are jury instructions as well. So when people said charges, people were assuming that they were RICO elements that were dropped or predicates that were dropped, and it wasn't. They just are not going to give the jury instructions to prove attempted anything when it comes to those 3 charges. But the sex trafficking is still there. And so is the kidnapping, and so is the arson. And a lot of people got confused on that. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, they dropped the sex trafficking. They didn't. They absolutely did not. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I noticed that I shared with my Instagram subscribers. The sex trafficking and the transportation to engage in paid intimate relations workers, excuse me, not only are those counts for Cassie and Jane, like separately on their own, they're also predicates. So the crazy thing about this is, and I could be wrong, but sex trafficking and the transportation are predicates in the RICO. So the way this looks to me is like, I think the government may have stacked this case against Diddy. And here's why. Because they kept saying you only need 2. You only need 2 of the predicates. So if they find him guilty of the sex trafficking of Cassie or Jane, or Cassie and Jane, if they find him guilty of the transportation to engage in sex workers with Cassie and Jane, or Cassie or Jane, they're going to find him also guilty of those 2 predicates by finding him guilty of those individuals right there. Again, I could be wrong, but I also could be right. Gold digger, you feel me? What's crazy is I took my Benadryl at 8:30 and I'm still awake at 10 o'clock. So I'm definitely not getting into the main courtroom tomorrow. But honestly, I really don't care because I want to hear everything. Oh, they're definitely not playing nice if that's how this goes. Think about it, though. Think about it. I think they stacked the charges. Not for long, though, Swagger, because I popped my Benadryl, so I'll be going to sleep soon. You know, I have to take the Benadryl and the Claritin to kind of combat these allergies. But did everybody catch what I said? Okay, so here's what it is. Here's what it is. He's being charged in the predicates with the sex trafficking and the transportation, right? But then he's separately being charged as well for the same thing for Cassie and Jane individually. So if the jury comes back and they find him guilty of sex trafficking at all, if they find him guilty of transportation at all, which to me, I feel like they have those 2 elements right there. So if they get him on counts, what is that? I think it's count. I don't know how they did the jury instructions for, because they edited from what we saw the first time. But if they're still going, count 2 is trafficking of Cassie. Count 3 is transportation of Cassie. Count 4 is trafficking of Jane. And count 5 is transportation of Jane. If they're still doing it like that, If they're still breaking this case down like that, then if they find him guilty of sex trafficking of Cassie and transportation of Cassie, that's it right there. That's 2 predicates. When you come into a comment section and say dumb shit, you end up on the other side. Bye, Matt. Freak off is Diddy and his girlfriend, but you do understand that prostitution is illegal. So the hiring of entertainers, escorts, and paying them for sex is still illegal. The use of illegal substances is still illegal. It's in the name. Giving someone illegal substances, in this case, they're telling us it's illegal. So you can't share your DR Uggs with nobody, guys. Do not share your DR Uggs with anybody. Oh yeah, Matt's been helloed from the other side. That's the president they setting. What's the president that who's setting? TD, because if you've missed the whole case, if you missed the whole did you get any of the government breakdown? Because if you didn't get any of the closing argument, please go watch my video, because I read the live tweets of what was going on, and tomorrow I'll be back in the court. I just didn't go to court today. Well, if a spliff is legal in your state, then you're good. But if it has not been legalized in your state, no more ciphers, okay? No more ciphers. Everybody bring their own spliff. Well, let's see if they clear it up, absolute, because like I just said, I don't know how long you've been in here. If the jury comes back and finds him guilty of trafficking and transportation as the separate charges that they are, trafficking and transportation are also 2 counts in the RICO. So I feel like the government may have stacked the case. Having DR Uggs carrier from state to state is illegal. That's true. You can't leave across state lines from one state to the next state with it. That's considered transportation. But they didn't get him for trafficking of illegal substances. They only got him for distribution, which is him purchasing them and giving them to Jane and Cassie. That's the distribution that they're saying is going on in this case. And that's what I told y'all before these closing arguments. I've been telling y'all what they were doing. Easier to prosecute. Even Boosie stated that. What's easier to prosecute? Let me go back and see what you said. Oh God, we taking legal advice for Boosie? Apparently it's legal at state level, but it's illegal at federal. Yeah, it is. Because I can't, like, it's legal in New York to have Mary Jane. But now if I go through the airport and I get on a plane and I happen to get somebody that decides they want to be a jerk off to me that day, it doesn't matter if you're going from one state that's legal to the next state that's legal. The airways, all of that is considered federal. It's not legal federally. Who's Faffy? Where's the Faffy demon now? Who's Faffy? I be smoking solo dolos. Don't know what people be putting on. Okay. Listen, Cassie was talking about she has sores on her lips. I'm sorry, not sorry. Those was herpes. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Jane never testified to having sores in her mouth, and she was talking about giving mouth mop for hours. Yes. Gold digger, yes. All states, yes. Right, Kristen. He said urine will do that. Shut up. I'm not doing this with you. 72. I'm not doing this with you, okay? And just to let you know, I be in people's bushes. I've been seeing you everywhere, sir. You be everywhere I be. But I'm not doing this with you. Yes, Jane did say that she got UTIs, but I would assume slipping and sliding with baby oil gushing in and out of your punana would give you a UTI. Baby oil is not made to go in the punana. I would also assume that having sexual relations with multiple people and having them happy time fizz and jizz in you would also give you a UTI. And then especially if you getting up after having sex with one person and not using the bathroom and cleaning yourself and going right into having sex with another person, and then going and having sex with another person, and then going and having sex with another person, I would assume that you would get a UTI. I'm surprised she ain't catch nothing else. You understand what I'm saying? I'm surprised nothing else was being passed back and forth in them freak offs. And I'm not being funny, I'm being for real, you guys. There's probably all kinds of BV and everything that's been going down that they didn't talk about. Oh, my bad. I'm sitting up here talking to y'all. I said, I wouldn't be, I said, that was the whole thing with the Mary Jane, why they legalized it, because they wanted to make money off of it. So I'm not surprised by that, Kristen. Nah, you know if I fall asleep, baby, I snore. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I snore. I have allergies and sinuses, and I'm fluffy, so I snore. But what I was saying was, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 5 to 10 years they start legalizing other substances as well, because there is such a thing as medicinal cocaine. Booger sugar has a medicinal purpose to it. Did y'all know that? I found that out when I was working in a pharmacy, that there's medicinal cocaine. And guess what? You should know that, because that's what goes into your Oxycontin, your Vicodins. Okay? And I believe that a little bit of H-Ron goes into them Percocets. That's just my theory. That don't make it true with the H-Ron. Yes. Yes. Them Tylenol 8s with codeine, anything that has codeine in it is cocaine. Yes, MDMA. They use it to give to elderly to enjoy their last days in the nursing home. Yes, MDMA. All of these illegal drugs have medicinal purposes to them. He said, "Welcome to the water table, Kristen." Why she gotta go? It does. The poppy plant makes it all. Yep. Yep. Kristen told you I didn't even have to tell you she got her own water table. You see, I don't never put Kristen at the water table because she's already there. From the time we get going, she's already at. She puts herself at the water table, so nobody else gets to put her there. Okay, Kristen said, I already made my table. This is where I sit. I come in the bar, I go straight to my table. I don't even come to the bar. I know I'm going right to my water table. I don't sit up at the bar stool. People in the chat, if you have flown anyone out across state lines and had sex with them, you just might be next in line to be arrested. So be careful. I already told them that, Angela. We been broke that down, girl. We broke that down weeks ago. They know. Trust me, everybody in this chat, they know. We're talking about Diddy. We're talking about DR Uggs. We talking about trafficking of people. We talking about all of it. Another Diddy channel. How original. First of all, Anders, I'm more than that. I'm just covering that at this particular point in time. So, looks like you got sniped. Your comment was not welcome. You may want to try another comment. And go scroll my channel before you get over here and get to popping it. Okay? I cover a lot of court docs. Somebody I know going to jail. I don't even want you. I'm not even gonna ask you who. Oh no, Angela, my mods do not play. They don't play, okay? The heavy hitters are in here, all right? The captain is not here, okay? If the captain was here, we might be down to 50 people because she get rid of every damn body, but I don't want everybody going tonight. I told y'all I've been guilty. Get out my special request. Folks just live to be slick at the mouth. No reason. Dang, man. Shape up or ship out. Yeah. Your mods are prepubescent in the base. First of all, the only thing prepubescent is your wiener. And you only use that word because you probably heard it in another Diddy case that was read. Because I know for a fact that's language out of that Aaron Hall case. All right? But now you find yourself helloed from the other side. And now you're talking to yourself. You think you're in the chat still popping it, but nobody sees it but you. And nobody knows it but you. Yeah. Diddy should be held accountable for his sins, his money, power, and above the law attitude should be made an example. Well, Tony, I believe that's what's happening to him now. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But, you know, as y'all peruse, y'all go check out some of the commentators and on news and stuff and see what they're saying because it's sounding very reminiscent. Look how long he got away with it all though. So I mean he did get away with it for a lot of years, you guys. Feel bad for his kids. They looked really sad today. Yeah. I feel bad for his kids. I feel bad for his mom. Even though I know a lot of y'all don't, I do. I feel bad for his mom. You know why? Because I'm a mom who has a son in prison too. Granted, my son is not in prison for these things, but my son is in prison. That's not an easy thing. That's why when people get in here and be popping it, like the one girl who came in here and said, oh, it could be your black son. It could be your black father. It could be your black brother. First of all, my son is not doing any or wasn't doing any of the things that Diddy was doing, but my son was doing other things. And guess what? My son is in Click Click City. That's how I started getting into court docs and paperwork. And then I stopped doing that. And then I started looking up court docs and paperwork on Krishan and Blueface. And from there, I just went on and on and on. And this is the lane that I'm in. I feel bad for all of them. I feel bad for the daughters. I feel bad for the sons, but I feel bad for the daughters because, you know, they're watching their dad. And think about it. Every time they've come to court, it's been something. You know, they were there when the first escort took the stand and was talking about the urine and the baby pool full of baby oil and Astroglide and all of that stuff. They were there for all of that. You know what I'm saying? And now they left. They took a long break. They graduated. They went to prom. They looked beautiful. They looked amazing. They looked like their mom. Oh my God, they look like him. But they went off and now they come back and it's to sit in the courtroom and watch the video of the Intercontinental with a narrative, because that's what AUSA Slavic did. She played the video with a narrative to it. Me too, Henny. My son is incarcerated too. Definitely not for these things, but it's hard having your child locked up. Yeah, it is. You know, I really feel for Ms. Combs. That's not easy. And then you got to also think he's the provider of the family. So, you know, the thing is, all of this stuff that was going on, we don't think about the consequences of our actions. And I said this earlier. We don't think about the consequences of our actions and how it affects other people. We just think about feeling good and doing what we want in that moment. Money Bag Lizzo song. Uh-oh, Swagger likes the BBWs, y'all. Hey, shout out to all the men that like BBWs. His kids, his mother, everybody going to be all right. Why he's in prison? Because all his money is in his mom's name. Well, Janine, we're going to find out just how much of that money and assets, how much of the money and assets are in Janice's name. If he gets found guilty, he will have to go through forfeiture. Now, again, I get it. Your legal business funded your criminal activities, so therefore the legal business must crumble to crumble the criminal activity elements that were going on in his life. But the thing is, nothing was going into his businesses that were illegal that we know of. That wasn't brought up in this case. So the next thing that's going to happen if he's found guilty, and because remember this, the judge was presented with a Rule 29, you guys. He was presented with a Rule 29 and he reserved, which I told you guys he had the right to reserve it until after the jury comes back with a guilty verdict. Because if the jury comes back with an innocent verdict, there's no need for him to give what his ruling was on the Rule 29. So the verdict has to be guilty in order for the judge to give what he rules on that Rule 29, which is the acquittal. So the judge is still holding the acquittal. So right now, Diddy and the defense are looking at it like that is the big joker in the spades game. And the deuces are wild, okay? The deuces being wild, those are the people in the jury. Those are the wild deuces. But the big joker is the judge. And I'm not saying that to say that he's a clown or a gesture or anything like that. But if you play spades, you understand what I'm saying to you, okay? So that's what he's banking on. Like, okay, so I still have that ace in the hole. If the jury comes back and says guilty, we're going to see if the judge is going to give me this acquittal. The judge is not going against his co-workers, aka the prosecution. You don't know. There's been some judges who have. And to be honest with you, Judge Arun Submarinian, regardless to what other people may be saying or thinking, he has been pretty fair. He has been pretty fair. Possibly opens another Pandora's box, especially with names like Green floating in and through this case. Now, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that the judge is being bought. I'm not going to do that. This is not the channel for that. Exactly, Kristen. Thugger's judge did. O.J. Simpson's judge did. Yes. The judge could still come back and he could he has to still rule on the Rule 29 on that motion that was put in for the acquittal. So I haven't seen that happen, Angelina. I haven't seen anybody above a judge step in and say, nope, that acquittal's not going through. I haven't seen anybody do it. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Amen, Rucker Orange. So let's not forget that. Let me not let y'all forget about that one, because there's still the acquittal in the balance. The judge did not reject it. He said he was reserving on that. You know what, Shell? A lot of people said that in other cases as well. A lot of people said that about O.J. Simpson. They said he wasn't going to walk, that there was too much evidence for the judge to acquit, and he got acquitted. Granted, sorry, y'all. I forgot I have my mic on. Granted, it was if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, and the glove didn't fit, and so the judge acquitted the case. But that still can happen. You don't know what Judge Arun is thinking. Yeah, I did. I forgot that y'all could hear it very loudly too, because the mic is right there. So yeah, this case has a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns. What I will say is it has been a roller coaster of emotions, you guys. It really has. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. But it's been a great experience. It really has. And I've been saying that this has been a great experience. I've absolutely loved this experience. I think this was a great thing, coming out here, regardless to what, a lot of people are covering this case, and some people aren't really seeing, the beauty in all that has gone on. And what did you say? Let me get this straight. Defense filed for an acquittal before there was a jury. Judge said, I reserve my judgment on that and started trial. No. They did the Rule 29 for the acquittal day before yesterday. The jury wasn't in there for that. But the trial has already been going on. They just did this the day before yesterday. I believe it was the day before. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, day before yesterday is when it was put in. I've been clutching my pearls this whole trial. If it's been nothing else, it's been entertaining. I'm glad you went, because this is going to be remembered. It is. You're welcome. No need to apologize. Like, this is what I do. Like, if you don't understand something, don't hesitate to ask. And if I know, I'll tell you. If I don't, then I'll say I don't know, but I'll look it up and get back to you. Oh, Joker TV. Ha, thank you. Henny, my comment was in response to the possibility of an investigation regarding his assets, any possible gain and the handling of funds with his accountant Greenhill. Now, Robin Greenhill and what was it, TriStar, I believe was the name of it. They're the same people who were over Britney Spears. And there's a lot of controversy with them because of that conservatorship. But now we're seeing Robin Greenhill was the one who was approving. Like Robin Greenhill, if not for nothing else, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. That is who was approving for like the assistants to be paid back when they would go and they would use their own money to purchase baby oil, to get DR Uggs for Diddy. Like they would get reimbursed through Robin. She would have to approve for the reimbursements. She's the one that Diddy contacted to make sure that Jane's rent still got paid. So it's Robin Greenhill making sure that she's still keeping that roof over her head at the direction of Diddy. So she's still been aware of a lot of the stuff that's been going on with the funding, because when Jonathan Lopez took the stand, they showed us an example of one of the reimbursement slips that he would have on there. And it would say something, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken because this was a minute ago and I don't feel like grabbing my notes right now. But it was saying something to the effects of like personal items for PD or something to that effect. And she would then approve for him to get paid back. Any after Diddy case, are you going to look into Fat Joe's? Yes, I am. I'm going to look into Fat Joe's case. For those of y'all who don't know, I will be going to California to cover the Big U trial next year. So that's another boots on the ground that I plan on doing. If anything comes, thank you, Tasha. I appreciate you. I'm also going to catch up on the DDG and Haley Bailey case because I did start that, but then the Diddy trial happened and I haven't really been keeping up with that. So, yeah. Well, welcome, Joker. I wonder if KK and D-Rock will be arrested next. I'm interested to find that out too, because them two right there, they definitely are, they're co-conspirators. There's no getting around that. And then today they showed, I was watching something. I don't remember what I was watching because I was like skimming through a lot of different things. Like I watch a couple minutes and I'll be like, I said that already. Next, I've already broke that down. Next. You know what I'm saying? So the assistants were co-conspirators, like I said, security and KK. So now it makes sense that they're uncharged co-conspirators, which is why they were able to come and get immunity and testify. But if you go all the way back to the beginning, I told you guys, I broke down why it was a one-man RICO. And I explained that a one-man RICO happened because his co-conspirators either took plea deals or got immunity. And that's how Diddy ended up on this standalone RICO. But the co-conspirators are there. And if anybody doubted any of that before, I think the government explained it. If people were saying that I was lying before, I think the government backed me up. I see that, a lot of what I told y'all was very accurate. And that's shown me that I do have an eye, an ear, and a brain for some of this legal stuff. And it was very interesting. It was very interesting to watch it unfold. Again, I've said this before and I'm going to say it now before I end and get off. I'm just surprised that they did not go for the dealing in obscene matters. I just knew for sure that they were going to go for that, but they didn't. They didn't. I've been kind of stalking. Don't judge me. I don't usually lurk like this, but I wanted to know where KK is. I follow KK and her family. Recently, KK was wherever Russell is. If KK is where Russell is, she's in Bali and she cannot be extradited from there. Crash out. Send me that information. This trial has made a lot of people money and has been a blessing to many, which is ironic because Diddy may go to prison for life. Yeah, because if that's true, we're gonna talk about that. Let's just hope that nobody lurking in my bushes decides to go and steal from my channel again. Because I've been seeing that going on, but I'm not making a big deal about it. Let me tell y'all something. Coming out of the Krishan sector into this sector has given me tough skin to a lot of things. Yeah, I wanna put eyes on that. And if it's true, then we already know. I know your baby daddy couldn't get away with shit. Oh, I thought you was talking to me because I was about to say nope. Matter of fact, he be joking with me talking about, oh man, when I first told him I was covering Diddy, he said, oh man, Diddy got you on him? Oh no, this is bad. He's not getting out of it. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Um, you know what, Crash Out? I'm not messing with you. Well, he's already made that. He was like, oh man. Because he's been under my investigation. And I took some of those skills and put them to good use. So I think I did a good thing. Are you guys getting commercials? I don't think you guys get commercials when I go vertically live. Yeah, you don't get commercials on vertical. And I know why. Hey, don't let us find out you've been flued out. No, I've never been flued out. Uh-uh. I bet you get them on the replay, though. But anyway, you guys, I've been on here with you for almost an hour. Y'all got 3 lives out of me today. Y'all got 2 vertical lives. And you got a horizontal one. You got me giving you the closing arguments. You got me popping my ish. And then you have this one. But with all the people that have been, I do like you. I do like you. Can double tap the screen to like on vertical. Yeah. We've had everyone from Israel Flores all the way up to agents. We've had a couple of escorts. We've had Cassie. We've had Capricorn Clark. We've had Kid Cudi. We've had a lot that has gone down in this case. But you guys, I'm going to go to bed so that I can be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow so that I can come and report to y'all what the defense put on the stove for us and how they chefed it up. But in the meantime and in between time, when y'all rest well, and I'll see y'all in the next pour up. Peace, everybody.